Hey everybody, it's Korie with CVMA, and today we're here to talk about the second form in the Heian series, Heian Nidan. So Heian Nidan is the first form of the Heian series where you truly kind of break away from the general structure and set of techniques that are in the taekwondo series. So you're going to introduce a lot of different techniques in this form. So as we go through the detail of this form, take your time, look at each piece, and listen to the explanation as we go, and this will help you kind of become more familiar with these newer techniques as you're going through the form. So like we did in the Heian Nidan video, we're going to start with the form in its entirety, and then we're going to come back and talk through the detail. All right, welcome back. We're going to start talking about the detail behind Heian Nidan. So this form, like all others, starts in a ready position. So the first thing we're going to do is execute a picture frame block to the left side. You'll hear it also called a double block or other names, but in CVMA we refer to it as a picture frame block. So the way that this block works is you're going to take your lead hand and bring it up about 90 to a little less than 90 degrees from this direction here in front of you. Then you're going to take your rear hand and bring it up across your forehead this way. Palms are both facing out, and your target is directly in front of you here. So not standing in front of you this way, but off to the side that you're going to be moving. So the way that you get into this is you're going to, when you move, you're going to draw your hands back toward your right side and then fish them across the body to their final position. So we're going to start palms out facing the back of the room, draw them across the body this way, and bring the hands in. Now your hands won't open. I'm doing that more just to kind of show you where the palms are, but this would come across the body with the hands closed, draw across the body here, and then come to its final position. It's going to be a back stance on the left side, so you're going to end up looking like this. We're going to have that back stance to the left side. We're going to have the rear hand up at the forehead. We're going to have the front hand out in front of the body, both palms towards the front of the room. We're going to sit here. Now the idea is you want this to be a 90-degree line here, so you don't want any angle here or dipping here. You kind of want it to be a true 90 here. And then out here with this hand, you want it to be about straight up or a little in toward the target, depending on the situation. But you don't want it in toward the body, and you definitely don't want it straight out towards the direction that you're looking here. So how we get into this movement is it's sort of a transition, right? So this step is going to take place in really two steps. So the first thing we're going to do is as we shift the where it's going to go, we're going to draw the hands back. So we're going to set the foot, draw the hands here. Now notice that I haven't quite locked into position yet. I'm going to need that hip motion to deliver power with this technique. So I don't want to lock into place right away. So I'm going to bring the hands back as I set the foot, as my gaze now goes toward that direction. And then I'm going to, as I lock the hips into place, I'm going to drive the hands forward. Here. Now, once we're in position here, the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to drop this left hand. And at the same time, we're going to bring the right hand twisting underneath and straight out to its target. So it comes from here to here. Then you're going to pull the right hand back to its normal punching position while you extend the left hand straight out. So over here, we're going to extend or retract the and in a position. Note that we're still back stance here. Now we're going to look to the right side and execute the same set of movements. So we're going to look, we're going to, again, drop the hands as we set the foot. Hips are still not quite set yet. We're going to bring the hands up and set the hips. Now from here, we're going to drop the right hand, punch with the left, and then return the left hand to punching position as we extend the right. Now from here, we're going to step forward, slide the left leg forward to our right leg, bring our hands into cup and saucer position with right hand on top, and we're going to look to the back of the room all at once. So as I move, I'm going to let my hips move my gaze, take my head back as I pull the hand. Here. So strike here, we step, we're in position. Now, you're going to throw a side kick with the right leg, mid-level, and then you're going to land in a back stance, knife hand block. So we're going to throw that we're going to throw the side kick with the right leg, and as we rechamber it, we're going to settle into the knife hand block on the left side. The goal here is you don't want to, I'm going to do this from the side so you can see it. You don't want to kick, bring it down, and then step out. You want to land on this foot. So we're going to kick and land back on this foot. But notice that I kicked and then rechambered before I set the foot down. You don't want to just kick and fall onto it. It's not going to do you any good. So from here, we want to kick, rechamber, and then set it down as we land in the knife hand block. That's going to give it a nice look, and from a combative perspective, it's going to be much sturdier and much more secure than just falling on the foot or bringing the foot back to center before stepping out. So again, just to return to where we were, we're going to side kick, land in the knife hand block. Now we're going to step forward, knife hand. So left hand is going to drop into protection, right hand across, knife hand here. Again, one more time. Now we're going to step forward into our spear hand strike. So I'm going to drop the left hand. Right hand is then going to come back to punching position. I'm going to step, front stance, spear hand. Center, right below the elbow. So this hand, top hand is striking center of the body, and the left hand is right under the elbow. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that 3/4 turn, just like taekwondo Shidan, just like Heian Nidan as well. But I'm going to land in a back stance knife hand block. So I'm going to recenter just so you can catch this whole thing. I'm going to look, I'm going to turn, back stance. You can see left hand is prepped, right hand underneath protection. As I settle in the back stance, strike with my knife hand block. Now, I'm going to go 45 with a knife hand block back stance. So I'm going to look, see my target, drop the left hand into protection, right hand comes across, knife hand block. Now, I'm going to bring the right leg back on the center line, or back on the straight line here, going basically in a half turn. So I'm going to drop this foot back here. I'm going to prep on the right side because my right leg is going to be out. And I'm going to turn back stance knife hand block. Now again, I'm going to go to the 45, this time with the left leg. So I'm going to drop the right hand into protection. Left hand's going to come up to strike. I'm going to step forward on the 45 and end in my knife hand block. Now from here, I'm going to bring the left leg straight across and go into a front stance with a rear inside forearm block. Now, again, normally we do these blocks with the front hand, but this one's going to actually be a rear block, so we're going to do it with the opposite hand. So I'm going to step over, and as I turn into a front stance, I'm going to drop my right arm underneath and block. Now, in this stance, the hips are slightly turned off center. the feet are still going straight, the body is still going straight, but the hips are slightly turned off center. And the elbow of the right arm is going to line up with the right hip. So we're going to be slightly overturned here. Now notice stacking is still in line, knees are still in line, everything is still structured properly, but our hips are just slightly overturned. From here I'm going to take the right hand, jab straight out, establishing the distance. Now it's going to be a rear snap kick, followed by a front stance reverse punch. So I'm going to raise the right leg, snap kick, set it into front stance position, and reverse punch. Now, from here I'm going to do the same thing that I did in that sequence. So I'm going to drop the left hand underneath, right hand's coming out, and doing that rear inside forearm block. So I'm going to drop rear inside forearm block. Now, again, hips are slightly turned here. So hips are slightly off to an angle. Left elbow and left hip are in line. Going to jab to establish the distance with basically jab the hand off here with pushing the hand forward just to establish your distance here. I'm going to take that rear leg, throw the snap kick, and land reverse punch. So rear snap kick, land, reverse punch. Now I'm going to step forward in a back stance and do a double forearm block. Other arts may call this an assisted block. We refer to this as a double forearm block. So again, I'm going to bring my hands to position. I'm going to step, and as I settle the hips, I go into my block. Now, I'm going to do a 3/4 turn from a back stance. So back leg's going to come around into a front stance and down block. So I'm going to look over the shoulder here so I can see, prep the hand, start the turn, and end front stance down block. Now, I'm in the front stance down block back on the straight line here. I'm now going to go 45 and throw a high block. So I'm going to bring the hand across the body, the front hand across the body, step and block high. Now, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to go into the down block first. I'm going to look, prep the hands, drop the foot back, down block, front stance. And then from here, I'm going to go at my angle again, 45 into the high block. And that's the form. I return to here. Now, as far as cups are concerned, so the cups in this form would be on the knife hand, or excuse me, the spear hand going forward. So up the pattern, so knife hand block, knife hand block, knife hand block, spear hand, the cup there. And then on the final, high block to the right side. So then down block, high block, cup. So that's Heian Nidan. So you can see a lot of different techniques, a lot of different angles, different hip positions. This form has a lot of very new things for someone who's just learned this form. So this form is going to take you a while to sit and digest. So take your time learning this form. Watch the explanations over and over again. Ask us questions. You can ask in the comments. You can ask in class. No big deal either way. And we'll do our best to answer them, right? So take your time with this form. As with all forms, you shouldn't have to do these forms fast. They should be done slow, with purpose. And as you get better at them, you can put a little bit of speed on them, but it's not speed that is the goal behind these forms. It's learning the techniques, learning the defensive concepts behind the techniques, and then being able to apply them in combat. So speed really doesn't help us at this point to learn or solidify our knowledge of the form itself. So take your time, focus on the detail. If you find sticking points, go back and repeat them again and again and again to try to get them down in your muscle memory. But the best thing you can do with these forms is just practice them over and over. So get comfortable doing these forms, work through the different techniques, and you'll be able to master these things in time. So that was Heian Nidan. I'm Korie with CVMA. We'll see you again next time.